Hello, hello. Can you hear me now? All right. I want everybody to keep, if you're in the food line, stay in the food line. I want you to get the food. Levi and Jess and their crew have done a fabulous job seeing to it that you get. That's it. Fantastic food. So, but I do have to get this meeting started because we noticed the meeting. So what I'm going to do is I am going to open this meeting. That's the gavel right there. We're going to open the meeting, and I'm going to ask Madam Clerk if we may have a roll call, please.
Mayor Knorr.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Bryant.
Here.
Councilmember Cryer.
Here.
Councilmember Waldrop.
Here.
And Councilmember Chavera is absent with notice.
Thank you very much. Okay, now we're going to move into the guts, the nuts and bolts of what we're doing. We, on the west side, we in the city of Taft, we in Kern County for that matter, have been truly blessed to be represented by such a committed group of individuals. I was talking to some people earlier in our Oildorado celebration, and one person reflected that I didn't think Oildorado was going to be so political. Well, let me tell you, folks, the city of Taft, Kern County, the west side, we have producing a God-given organic material that is the foundation of modern quality of life for a very long time. And we will keep doing it as long as it's required, as long as the world needs it and counts on it and enjoys it, and we have it. By God, we're going to do it. So, this is a little political, but guess what? That's okay when you've got the best damn politicians in the whole cotton-picking state, and that's what we have. Not only are we very proud of them, they are committed, they are necessary, they are what is going to keep us alive. They are. We're not fighting demons out there, folks. We're fighting Sacramento. We're fighting some ridiculous fantasy idealism, and these folks are the common sense interjection that are going to save our tails. So, it is a little political, but that's okay. First, I'm going to introduce our Senator, Shannon Grove. Now, I want to tell you something. I've got bios right here. Bio is kind of a unique thing. And as a professional courtesy, I ask that each of them provide a bio. But it's almost a little too impersonal for me because each of these individuals that are going to speak to you today are not just politicians or representatives. They are dear friends. I've worked with them for many, many years. And they're not just my friend. They're Taft's friends. They're the industry's friends. They're Kern County's friends, and they're California's friends. So, I'm not going to go through it all because most of you know these people. Let me just tell you, I have personal experience with their dedication and their resolve and their honesty in a place called Sacramento, which I've been there. It's more of kind of a swamp, if you ask me, and I almost feel guilty for sending them up there, but by God, I am so glad they're there. So, first and foremost, let me introduce Senator Shannon Grove.
Thanks, my friend. So I'm supposed to give you guys an update on what's going on in Sacramento, and I just want to share a few words about SB 237. About 8 months ago, I had a call from the governor's office, and they said, Senator, we're in trouble. We realize it, and we are going to fix this situation. We are going to make sure not another refinery closes, which they failed to do because at the last night of session, they let politics dictate policy, and now the market will dictate policy. I worked with an incredible team of people because, like I told them, I was kind of the face of the operation behind the scenes at the meetings. We went to hundreds of meetings. We brought people here from Sacramento. I brought legislators here, and we went on the west side, and they're like, wow, I've never seen anything like this in California. We pulled up to that Midway Sunset Road sign where you got a pumping unit over here and a pumping unit over here and a pumping unit over here, and they're pulling out their cameras and like, we're in oil country. I'm like, not yet, but we will be shortly. We took them over to the east side, and we saw people that were responsible for our energy production, all kinds of energy, and they wanted to see our solar and wind production as well. And we came over the top of the hill. Tracy was driving. Haddad gave us a nice vehicle. Lorelei's in the back seat, and the individual's in the front seat that's the chair of a agency up there. And we came over the top of that hill and the windmills, and she goes, and we think we're getting in a wreck. And Tracy, we look, she's holding up her camera. Is that a windmill? Can we get out and take a picture with that windmill? And then we brought her over to the other side, and Dave Knorr gave her a tour of La Palomas and stuff. So anyways, we've been screaming from the rooftops about energy production, and we used to produce about 75% of the state's needs for oil when I first got elected to office, and we import over 75% of it now. People talk to me about climate change. If you want real climate change to address the climate, you produce the cleanest, most safe energy here in California for Californians and by Californians. You don't import it from, let's say, Ecuador, where one state, this state, buys over 50% of Ecuadorian oil. They bulldoze down the rainforest. It's the world's lung. It's the Amazon rainforest. And then we buy that oil and bring it here. We just 5 years ago stopped sending $5 billion a year to Russia. Now, sarcastically, I'm sure they were building parks and schools with that money that we used. But the governor likes to tout that we are the 4th largest economy in the entire world, and I have to tell you that our spending power creates consequences globally on our energy policies that we have in California. We need to unleash California, not just Kern County, but the entire state, so that we can produce energy here. 237 came about because of the issues with the refineries. I got that phone call. We brought countless agency heads here. We did several tours. We did 100 Zoom calls, several meetings, after hours at the Natural Resources Development building. And I have to tell you, the governor did put the right person in charge. Sivagunda, the vice chair of the CEC, really is trying to do everything he can on an executive level to try to make things better for us. I got a phone call regarding what was going on with Sable Pipeline just a couple of days ago, and he's like, how can we work with the administration to fix this situation? So we are working still to fix a lot of things, but what we were able to do with my team of incredible people, Lorelei Oviatt, who is now on special assignment by the County Board of Supervisors to continue this project, was just amazing. Every meeting, you'd hear stuff that came from the other side, from the Environmental Defense Fund and other agencies in the EJ group, and we would just politely listen. That's why Dave Knorr could never be in the meeting, but he was like instrumental. So we'd listen and we'd smile and we said, well, that might work, but have you run the numbers on, the flow if you're going to get up to 80% capacity in the pipeline? Have you guys checked to see if that will work? And then CalGEM would run the numbers and they said, oh, that doesn't work. We can't do that. Well, we knew it wasn't going to work, but you had to make it sound like that we were willing to work with the other side. So my ride or die people, Mike Umbro, I don't know if he's here, George Harmer, I don't know if he's here, Lorelei Oviatt, Chad Hathaway, we were on the phone constantly, but my ride or die, cuss or cry, right-hand person was Mayor Dave Knorr. He really was. He'd give me great stuff, and I'll give you a couple of examples. He'd give me great stuff, and I'd forward it, and then they'd say, where'd you get this? And I'm like, where'd you source this document? Can you source this document? 2 seconds later, I got a text. It's sourced by a national lab. I mean, everything that they gave us. There was a document created on fracking, on well stimulation, because we were fighting to get well stimulation and fracking here in this piece of legislation, and they wouldn't accept it. The governor's office says, this is fracking. We can't use fracking. So Dave says, send it back and call it, what do we call it? Advanced energy recovery. So we took fracking out, same report from the national lab, put advanced energy recovery, and they're like, this is a great report. It's like, okay. So you just have to think outside the box to make things work. In the end, we got 2,000 drill permits every year for 10 years to create some type of certainty for our community. And I'm really hoping that oil goes up to $100 a barrel so we can start blowing and going in this county and produce jobs here. And I am ecstatically happy that Les Clark is still with us to see that happen, as he has walked the halls in Sacramento forever. And I'm just excited. I do have a presentation. It's kind of like one of those fake presentation when your real presentation doesn't come in on time, so you create a fake one, but the real one is on its way. Dave Knorr is not only an ally for this industry, he's one of the most patriotic people I've ever met in my entire life. He's willing to stand up. He confronts the people who are, he's like an older gray-headed Charlie Kirk. He is. He speaks truth. No other person goes out and confronts the guy that flies over in a hot air balloon chased by a F-350 truck hauling fuel to fly the balloon, right? Our mayor does that. He speaks truth to lie. And he's very good at what he does, and he knows that stuff off the top of his head. His brain works faster, I think, than all of us. So I tried to get you a resolution, and we are getting it 3 days from now. So we have a fake one to present, and I just want to read a little bit about it because this is who you are. Other than being a total badass, and excuse me for cussing, but he is just the most incredible person ever. Mayor Dave Knorr has been a tremendous asset to the city of Taft, dedicating over 20 years of service since he was first elected in the city council in 2004. He's contributed extensively to the city, serving as the mayor for the 6th term and continuously demonstrating honesty, integrity in politics for 20 years, and still has honesty and integrity, professionalism and leadership in all of his varied assignments, and upon this occasion he is deserving of a special recognition. Whereas born and raised in a proud Air Force family, Mayor Knorr started his career in the petroleum industry in 1981 with Sun Oil Company, continuing on to ARCO, and eventually retired in 1991. And his commitment to Taft stayed nearly 30 years and served as the co-owner and president of Huddleston Crane Service until his retirement in 2023. And this is not in the resolution, but he did leave it in very good hands, DJ. He did. As well as serving on the Westside Park District's Recreation District Board of Directors until his election to the Taft City Council. And whereas Dave Knorr's efforts to include adopting "In God We Trust" on the seal of the city and the incorporation of the Taft Rails to Trails, connecting our communities and encouraging outdoor activities, supporting veterans, those that put their hand in the air to swear to defend this country against all enemies, foreign and domestic. This man is the biggest champion of our United States military veterans. Committing to our community that the commercial growth and distribution of marijuana will stay out of the city of Taft, 1,000%. And his efforts to successfully make certain the contributions that Taft makes are known at the national level, including by the New York Times, CNN, the Washington Post, Christian Science Monitor, and Fox News, just to name a few. Whereas at 115 years ago, the city of Taft dedicated a celebration that they needed to honor their heritage in the oil history, which is deeply rooted in their community, and the critical contributions provided to our nation's energy needs, a fact that remains true today, leading to the creation of the Taft Oildorado Days. And whereas this mayor's luncheon has been an integral part of Taft's Oildorado celebration, and Dave Knorr serving as mayor for his 3rd time over Oildorado, the 115 years of Oildorado Days, distinguishing yourself as a positive role model to not only your family, DJ, and your grandkids right there, but to everybody in this room and the community that loves you. It is my honor to make sure that this is archived in the state of California, so when those kids go up and search your name, they will see what their Papa Dave is and who he was, and it's archived in the state of California just for you, my friend. The real one will come in a couple of days.
Gracious sakes. Thank you so much. Wow, that's a lot. Thank you so much, Shannon Grove, and thank you all. Next up, we're going to roll right into the next guy. and that is our Congressman Vince Fong. Vince is not new to us. That's right. Go ahead, clap for Vince Fong. Vince didn't just become a part of the city of Taft when he became a congressman. Vince served as an assemblyman. Vince worked with Kevin McCarthy many, many years ago, and that's when I first met Vince. Vince has been committed to the West Side, and he knows the West Side. He knows energy, and he knows the facts. He knows the reality. And we sent Vince, and there was some mix-up going on during the course of his election, but we worked our way through that because in the end, we have Vince Fong representing us in the United States Congress. That's right. Give him a hand. So with all the very dramatic changes going on in Washington, D.C., Vince was kind enough to take time to come here because he's a Taftian, so his roots are here. Vince, please come on up here and talk to these folks.
Well, thank you very much. Good afternoon, Taft. It's great to be back home. Thank you for getting me out of D.C. I know all of you are disappointed that my son isn't here. He's the most popular Fong, and then there's my wife, and then there's me. So, but I've learned as a new dad, Les gives me a lot of advice, but when he's sleeping, you don't wake up a sleeping baby. So he's still at home taking a nap. But it's great to be here in the heart of California's energy country, where hard work and determination built a community that continues to power our state and nation. I want to thank Mayor Knorr and the city of Taft for this invitation. As mentioned before, Mayor Knorr is a great partner. Everything I probably know when it comes to the oil patch and energy policy, either from Mayor Knorr, Les Clark, Mayday Mayday, Fred Holmes, Kathy Reheis Boy, who's there from WISPA. There's a lot. But I think my message today is the fight continues. There is not going to be one thing that's going to somehow say that we're all going to be good, because we are constantly fighting an ideology that basically is not rooted in common sense and wants to phase out the one affordable, abundant energy source that we need to power our state and our economy. Taft's story is California's story. Over a century ago, men and women came to these hills with little more than courage and grit. They drilled wells, built rigs, and forged a new kind of prosperity out of the earth. And what they created wasn't just an oil field, it was opportunity. For generations, this community has literally powered California. The oil produced here keeps the lights on, fuels our cars, supports our schools, funds vital public services like law enforcement and firefighting. It paid for homes, college educations, small businesses. It built the foundation of the middle class, and it will continue to do so as long as I've got an opportunity to fight every single time, every day, every breath I've got, whether it's in Sacramento or in DC. It's to ensure the viability and the prosperity of this community. This community represents the very best of California. People who roll up their sleeves, go to work, and take pride in producing something that matters. But we all know the truth. That legacy, that proud tradition is being threatened and demonized by Governor Gavin Newsom and his administration in Sacramento. And that's not a political statement, that's the truth. And this is what we're dealing with. We have an administration that we have a governor that can't even utter the words oil and gas. Can't even say it. Even though he's driving around in cars and flying around the state in his planes, all of those vehicles and all those planes are fueled by us, refined by us, moved through pipelines in our state, managed by the hardworking oil workers in California. So I guess there's finally some acknowledgement in Sacramento of what we've been saying all along, that we are important and that their poor energy decisions are creating real damage. They fueled an affordability crisis and forced our state to import oil from countries that don't share our values, don't respect human rights, and don't follow any environmental standards close to ours. The time is now to unite the energy producers across the West Side, across California, both onshore and offshore, with the knowledge that we know. Our fight for common sense energy policy continues and is more important now than ever before. Our state, you all know the details and all the facts, and Dave Noor has told me this before, but our state uses 1.4 million barrels of oil every single day. 400,000 are produced right here in California. About 70% of it is produced here in the West Side. But 1 million barrels are imported from countries that don't like us, countries that don't share our values, and that's the math. The math doesn't lie. And so our goal is to not only keep that 400,000, grow it, so that we can begin to reduce that 1 million barrels that we import every single day. And we can do it. 10, 15 years ago, our community here was producing over 145 million barrels of oil a year. Now we're around 96 million going down. And so that delta was all due to the terrible decisions that came from the Biden administration and from the Newsom-Brown administration, if you talk about California. So we need to maximize our operations to reduce dependence on foreign sources of oil and gas, because every barrel we fail to produce here in California doesn't disappear. It just comes from somewhere else. It's shipped halfway across the world from regimes that pollute and care less about what we care about. And who pays the price? You all know it. Every Californian who who fills up their tank, every family facing higher utility bills, every small business struggling to stay afloat. There's this new buzzword you hear now, not only in DC, but in Sacramento, this affordability crisis. Well, what does that really mean? The affordability crisis is your gas prices and your utility bills, your grocery bills. Those are the three items that people really, when we talk about affordability, that's it. And why is everything getting more expensive? Well, you got to get your food from somewhere, and that's going to be trucked somewhere. Your utility bills are because that the state of California has forced our utilities to buy more expensive sources of power. And that cost is being shifted to us. And of course, we all know that gas prices are supply and demand. And if we aren't going to produce it here, then we're going to get more expensive sources from elsewhere. And now, in the next 3 to 6 months, this is the critical time. We have a pipeline feeding refineries in the Bay Area at risk of closure by the end of this year. That's not an academic conversation. That is real. That is happening. And so that's why we need to get as much production into the system as quickly as possible. Les Clark and I have talked about this, that there's 3 buckets. There's production, there's infrastructure, and there is refinery capacity. And those 3 are all symbiotically related. You can't do one without the other. And so that on top of the fact that we're losing 2 refineries, which is over 20% of refining capacity, that's going to disappear overnight. That's happening. That is not an academic conversation. We have contracts being closed, or that is being canceled right now by the refinery up north, P66 in LA. It's closing at the end of this year. And so what are we going to do? We have to act with a sense of urgency. And then so we have to ensure volume certainty with the pipeline going north. We have another pipeline that we can open, the KLM pipeline, that we can move carbon and other products. We have the infrastructure right now. But if Gavin Newsom is going to continue to demonize our industry, the problem that we face, and Mayor Noor has told me this, is that you got to get people to invest in our state. And if you're sitting on the sidelines, how are you going to invest in California when the person at the top is telling you that they don't want you here? So this is the mentality, this is the culture that we have to change. But the solution to the energy crisis that we're facing is like watching a train wreck happening in slow motion. The solution is right here. We have the knowledge, we have the skill, we have the experience that exists right here in this community. We've done this work for generations, and we know how to do it better than anyone else. So we can protect the environment, we can produce energy. It is a false choice to anyone that tells you that you can't do both. So we can invest in innovation and support the workers who made California a leader in energy production. So these are the solutions from the community. These are the solutions from talking to Mayor Noor, talking to Les, talking to Fred, talking to Kathy and the key stakeholders. And I've talked to so many executives and energy producers across the country. We should be producing the energy right here in Kern County. Don't cap us, unleash us. Give us more. Again, you know the numbers. We can get to 145 million barrels of oil a year. Like, give us everything that we need, and we'll deliver for you. And that is my message to the governor and to the White House as well, is that unleash us. Let us do what we do best. Give us the permits that we need. Give us more than 2,000. Give us 5,000. Give us 10,000. Give us everything, and we'll we'll take care of the energy crisis in our state, and we'll solve it. Let us use carbon capture and storage for enhanced oil recovery. Congratulations to CRC for their big groundbreaking this week. Really important. But here's the interesting thing. This is the one thing that people don't talk about. Something Sacramento bans while other states use it successfully is to allow carbon to actually, for enhanced oil recovery. Let us use carbon that we store and let us bring even more oil out the ground. Texas and Oklahoma do that. That's why carbon capture is more mature in those states, because they are able to sell those products, make some money, and then they can reinvest it into carbon capture. We in California, not me, but unfortunately in California, they banned the use of carbon for EOR. So we're holding back the investment and the opportunities that our oil industry has to actually put more into carbon capture technology. Let's eliminate that ban, and let's actually begin to carbon flood. After you steam flood, carbon flood, all you engineers know how this works, but this allows us to tap even more potential out of these fields. Let's expand responsible fracking where appropriate and keep our pipelines running strong. We should be bringing offshore and bringing offshore production and bringing that production safely into California to ensure our infrastructure stays functional and that we should need to open the dormant pipelines that we currently have in our state. This is the one area that I think not enough people are talking about, is that you can have production, but you got to get it to the refineries. And we have one pipeline going north, the San Pablo line, that is at risk of shutting down right now without the volume certainty that is immediately needed. So we have to get volume into that pipeline. We have the PUC acting on some settlements to keep Crimson afloat, but this is not something that we can continue to let go for a long period of time. We have to keep that pipeline functioning. If not, if Crimson closes that pipeline, then how are we going to get oil around the state? This is a very real challenge. So we need to. That's why bringing the offshore production from Sable is so important. I've talked to the White House. I've talked to the Department of Energy. Sable has put a permit in to get that platform operational. But here's the crazy thing about this, and this is the clearest contrast how asinine Sacramento's policies and oil has become. Sable can bring 400,000 barrels of oil into our market, into California immediately. We have it, but Gavin Newsom won't allow it. And so Sable is going to get operational, and they're going to use that offshore terminal to take that oil and move it somewhere. They can move it in Long Beach, and that would be important for us to reduce the price of energy in our state. But if Gavin Newsom won't allow it, where does that oil go? That oil is going to go to the Gulf Coast, or it's going to go to South Korea. So here's the thing. When those two refineries close, that 20% goes away. And we're dealing with a gasoline shortage, not only in California, but in Nevada and Arizona. California, Gavin Newsom is going to import refined gasoline into our state. And where are they going to get it from? They're going to get it from South Korea, refined with our oil, the oil off the coast of California. We're going to buy more expensive gasoline with the oil that we could have had. Or they're going to get it from India. And we have this fight going on right now that I think President Trump is absolutely correct, right? We can't have India buying Russian oil. But if California import refined gasoline from India, where right now are they going to get their oil from? From Russia. So if we don't save these refineries, if we don't save these pipelines, if we don't get more production, not only here in West Kern, but across California, we're going to import gasoline from South Korea and from India. How does this make any sense? So this is why it's so important that we produce not only the production here, enough of it. We need the technology, the carbon flood, the fracturing technology, the advanced energy exploration as defined by Mayor Noor. That gives us enough production in Kern as well as out across the state of California. We need them as well to get that 400,000 up to higher to begin to eat into that 1 million barrels that we import every single day. begin to put those resources into the pipelines to keep them operational so that they can feed into the refineries and expand. To build a new refinery in America right now is $1 billion. Who's got $1 billion to invest in California when the governor of California doesn't want you here? So this is the problem. And the solution is that we got to expand, keep the refineries we have in existence, and expand their opportunities. That requires production, that requires the pipelines, and that requires some real common sense to keep these refineries operational. So, all that being said, I got to say this because Mayor Knorr will not like me if I don't say this, but he says this all the time, and it is absolutely true. Energy security is national security. When we produce energy at home, we strengthen our economy, we create good paying jobs, and we make our nation safer. And this is the one example I want you to remember. So if the Benicia refinery in the Bay Area, they produce gasoline for us, but they're also one of the major, if not the biggest, producer of jet fuel to the Air Force Base in Northern California, and to Hawaii. So when we talk about how we're going to fuel our military, and when we're dealing with threats from China and all around the world, that oil, that power, that jet fuel comes from us. And so not only do we have an energy crisis, an affordability crisis, we have a national security crisis if we don't get our act together. So that's laying out a lot, but we have the most pro-energy administration in the Trump administration. The mayor has been to DC multiple times, has met with me, and I will tell you this, we're gonna be energy dominant. The question is gonna be, do we have a willing partner so that all these benefits don't end at the California border? And I think in my interactions with the new administration, he just doesn't get it. And I think we're gonna be successful in spite of him, not because of him. And I think that is the reality of the situation. You can go applaud that. So I'll end with this. Let's send a clear message right now to Sacramento. Stop attacking our way of life. Stop punishing the very communities that power the state. Stop forcing Californians to pay because of red tape, bureaucracy, and taxes. We have the ability to do it. We can keep our refineries open. We can expand capacity. We can ensure volume certainty to our pipelines. We can drill here. We can drill across the state. We can do it. And we can do it smartly in the most environmentally sensitive way. So I trust the people who've done this work for generations. I trust all of you, the men and women of Taft, of Kern County, and of California's oil fields and refineries. So, as we gather today, surrounded by the history and heritage of this incredible community, let's remember the story of Taft isn't just about oil. It's about perseverance, it's about grit, it's about innovation, and it's about the American spirit. So thank you Taft, for your hard work, your pride, your unwavering belief in what we can achieve together. God bless you, God bless Kern County, God bless California, God bless the United States of America.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Vince. And now you know why we sent him to Washington, D.C. Speaking of that, there's something, and I would be remiss if I didn't share this with you all. There's a guy, and this guy sent a little note about Vince, and he has an opinion of Vince. So this is let's stand by here just a second. Where'd you go? Okay, I got this. Okay. All right, these iPhones are a two-handed affair. So this guy sends out his opinion of Congressman Fong, Vince Fong. And this guy, he carries a lot of weight in Washington, D.C. So I'm gonna read this guy's post. Okay, it's at Real Donald Trump. So Donald Trump says about Congressman Vince Fong, Congressman Vince Fong is a terrific representative for the incredible people of California's 20th Congressional District. Vince has a strong record of success and compelling support for his community. In Congress, he is fighting tirelessly to deliver sustainable water solutions, champion our amazing farmers and ranchers, grow our economy, cut taxes and regulations, keep our now very secure border secure, advocate for our great military veterans, and defend our always under siege Second Amendment. So that's a lot of stuff, Vince Fong. I want to thank you very much for all of that. Now, next up, I'm going to invite a pair of guys up here. Both of them good friends of mine, both of them good friends of yours, both of them having worked hard for the West Side, representing the city of Taft, currently, in the past, and even more in the future. So these guys, they work as partners just as surely as they work as partners with the city and with the county. I love them both, David Couch and Chris Parlier. Both of them supervisors now. They're going to come up and they're going to talk to you.
We haven't rehearsed this, so bear with us. Thank you for the invitation to be here. I'll just say a couple of quick words. How can I follow up Vince and Shannon? Frankly, you should have had those guys go last, so there's not a letdown here. In 2017, a federal judge, I said this about a week ago, federal judge made Kern County redraw our district boundaries, and I lost in that process the city of Taft, the community, and the surrounding communities. And I swore at that time I was going to find a way to represent Taft one more time. So I wasn't able to fix that during the redistricting process in 2021. So I've decided to run for the Assembly District AD 32, formerly represented by Shannon, formerly represented by Vince, currently represented by Stan Ellis. So I'm hopeful to be able to represent you all one day again in the future. The reason I feel comfortable doing that is because you smartly elected Chris Parlier to be your representative, your supervisor in District 2. When was that? A year ago? 9 months ago. So Chris has done I'm going to compliment him a little bit here. He's done, the other day we had a board meeting on a Tuesday. Those usually start at, well, they always start at 9, but they could go till 3, they could go till 4, they could go till 5. I don't remember how long this one went. He then drove to Rosemont to attend an event and meet with some people and drove home. I have no idea when he got home. He could have driven straight from Rosemont to here for all I know. So he's doing everything he can to work for you, and I hope you'll be supportive of him. We have a little proclamation. You want to say a couple words? Sure. We have a proclamation for, before we give this, well, it's for Mayor Badass. We put Nor on there, but we messed up. Here you go.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for that, David. So this morning, when I was in the parade in the Hooskow with the posse, I was looking out the wonderful community of Taft, and I was like, what makes this place so special? Well, I'm looking at you right now. I mean, it's the pillars of the community. It's Sherry Horn, it's Holmes Western, it's the Rotary, it's the Kiwanis Club, and of course, it's the continuity of your government, your conservative government, current and past. So in contrast, right now, we have the Communist Party supporting events across this nation, really against our values. And Taft is going to remain that shining city on the hill. It has in the past, it is now, and it will in the future. Because it's anchored in 3 things: God, country, and this community. And I thank you so much.
So we have a little certificate of recognition presented to Mayor Badass again, Dave Knorr, in recognition of your exemplary public service. By the way, short story, I met Dave Knorr right over here at the Oil Monument. I called him up one day to ask for his support when I was first running for the board. He was kind enough to meet with me, and he has stuck with me ever since. If you stick to your word with Dave, Dave will stick with you, and that's what it takes in government, in business. And Dave, you exemplify that, and I just want to thank you for your friendship, and I'm happy to be able to be here today to present this to you.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Thank you so very much. Boy, do we have a great group of people representing us and our way of life. I'm telling you right now. We don't take them for granted, and I thank God every day. We have a presentation that's going to take place before we have closing remarks. The presentation is going to be made by WSPA, the Western States Petroleum administration. They actually are there are founding sponsor. There's the word I was looking for. Heaven's sake, they wrote the check. All right, make it easy. So, Suzanne Noble with WISPA is going to come up here. I'm going to give her the mic.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Suzanne Noble with the Western States Petroleum Association, and I want to thank Mayor Knorr for allowing me to say a few words. There are a lot of important people here, a lot. And I would like to acknowledge one of the most important to our industry, Mayor Knorr. He's not only putting himself out there, but he seeks to educate politicians, community groups, public officials, and the media about facts and the benefits of our oil industry. And WISPA really appreciates all that you do. You are there for us at hearings, you're there for us at events, and of course, you're always in the press telling the story. And we just wanted to take the opportunity to thank you. I also want to highlight one other very important person to the oil industry while I'm up here. She has tirelessly, through many of her years of service, of support to the oil industry, and just recently spent weeks, months, making sure that Senate Bill 237 was passed and, even more importantly, signed by the governor. This bill will help our industry tremendously. It will help us get through the legal path in reestablishing the right to drill new wells through the Kern County Oil and Gas EIR once again. So, WISPA wants to take the opportunity publicly to thank Senator Grove for all of your support. We really appreciate all the work you do, Shannon. Now I would like to introduce WISPA's recent past president and CEO, Kathy Reheis Boyd, who is going to present WISPA's President's Award. Kathy, why don't you come on up?
Thank you. I will make this quick, but I want to do this not only on my behalf, but on behalf of every individual in this room. I want to also thank Senator Grove for all she did, because her efforts are going to get Kern County flowing again. So thank you so much for your efforts. And Congressman Fong, thank you again for everything you're doing for this industry. So WOGA, Western Oil and Gas Association, was established in 1907. That wasn't the earliest one. That IOPA, Independent Oil Producers Agency, was 1904, so he beat me by 3 years. Les and I have been through much together. We have always known as big oil and little oil. I don't know. But we went through so much together. Way back when, I've been with WISPA 35 years, 40 with the industry, and 15 as the president and CEO. Be retiring at the end of this year. But we went through a lot together, including establishing our first production office in Bakersfield 38-ish years ago. And I was with Getty Oil, and then I was with Texaco in Kern River Field, and then WISPA opened this office, was WOGA then. And I said, wow, I'd like to see if I could run that office. And I, one night, talking to Les Clark, and I go, you think I could do that? And he goes, well, hell yes, you could do that. Because you're not only happy face, you're Sacramento sassy, and you're WISPA woman. So he is the reason that I was able to do what I did. He's the whole reason I was able to do what I do. And I just want to, one, from the bottom of my heart, Mr. Clark, Mr. Grand Marshal, sir, just for myself, for everyone, Suzanne, Christine, my staff who are all here, just tell you, I want to thank you for everything, everything. Because you made me who I am. And I know everybody in this room feels the exact same way. And to your lovely wife, June, who's been with us the whole time, to your family, who I saw grow up since this high, and now they're this high, and then them all are this high. I mean, we've been through so many years, but not only have you done everything for this industry, but you touched every single person in the industry, in this room, in WISPA, in WOGA. I presented this award to Les this last week in our annual conference in Southern California. He, of course, could not come, so I told 220 people, I'm taking that award and I'm driving up to Oildorado Days and I'm going to present it to him personally on behalf of everyone and on behalf of what you've done for each and every one of us in our lives, Lester. Love you to death, and let me
Hold on. Mayday, mayday.
That's it. Mayday, mayday. Thank you very much, Kathy. I appreciate it. I really do. Like you say, we've been through a lot, and I can't walk hardly anymore because of trying to follow her down in the halls of Congress or about here, trying to keep up with her and Manuel Cunha. I call him a Spider-Man, and her, they just go off and leave me. So I said, spin some breadcrumbs behind you so I'll know where you guys are, especially in the Pentagon. Remember that deal? Yipes. I said, you can't just walk in the Pentagon without getting shot. So, and we had to have special clearance. But we've done a lot of good work over the years, I think. It's been challenging, very interesting, and I appreciate the efforts. What? I'm not washing dishes, knucklehead. I'm the Grand Marshal. And I also have to express my appreciation for my family. And my wife of how many years? 60? 60 years. She's a lucky woman, that's all I'm saying about it. But anyway, again, I appreciate it. I have to tell you something, in receiving an award like this, it is meaningful to me because my life was and still is oil, period. That's what I did, and I've done Ray Bradley, I don't know if you guys remember Ray Bradley, is the head of Berry, and he says, well, how much money did you make me today? I said, I didn't make you a dime, but I saved you $1 million. So there's a lot of work that's involved in that. So again, I enjoy it. I'm not going to, what do you call that, filibuster? I am the Grand Marshal. I get extra minutes. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Kathy, thank you. Love you.
Congratulations, Les, from me and so many people involved, like you say, in the halls. There you go. I think Shannon has something special for you. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to give you the mic. I'll hold that. Okay, you hold this and talk. I'll hold that.
So again, this is what Dave Knorr's resolution will look like when the real one comes in. But this is an archived document, just like Dave's in the state of California, that talks about just what Kathy and everybody has known and talked about you for decades. That you are the guy that made Kern County relevant in the state of California when it came to oil. You were the guy that walked the halls and defended the little guy. You were the guy that made sure that Kern County could still survive even through a downturn. You never gave up the fight. You walked in your walker. I've seen you walk the halls, run the halls, and I've seen you walk in your walker just to continue to fight for this community, and it's my honor to present this to you. And Congressman, do you want to come up with us? Yes? So Congressman Fong, I know that he feels the same way, and we want to present this to you because you are our legacy leader, my friend. Mayday, mayday.
I'll just say that's already been spoken. Les, you're a great friend, a mentor. Your family has been so good to me. I feel like I've been adopted into your family, though I need to get more athletic. But I just can't thank you enough. Your wisdom, your advice, your mentorship has meant the world to me, to all of us who've served local government all the way up to Congress. And words can't describe how important you are to me, and I just want to thank you, and God bless your family.
Okay, that is the bulk of our program today. But before we go, I got to say a few more words, just a few more words. You have heard from the strongest supportive political machine that we have ever assembled in Kern County. They have our backs. They are out there fighting day in and day out every single day. Thank goodness for that. You know, it reminds me that we don't want to just talk about what is wrong with government in Sacramento. I can tell you from my perspective, I have very little faith in state government. I'm going to tell you that right now. I have undying faith in the people that you heard from today. Their commitment to us, to our way of life, is steadfast. It is unwavering. It reminds me so much of that monument right there. And that is who we are. That is who we have been. That is what we are. If you look at the monument, and Ben Victor and I became great friends during the course of all of this, and Ben is an incredible young man. And you go up there, and I want you to look carefully at those statues. See, the figures, the men are, by scale, they're about 7 feet tall, maybe a little bit bigger. Well, Ben said they needed to be larger than life because what we have done, what we have succeeded in doing is larger than life. And when you go up there and you look at their faces, and I do, whether it's in the daylight or at night, and in their face and in their hands, and you can see a rugged pride, a commitment to a task. They knew they had to get it done, and they're going to get it done. Come hell or high water, it was going to get done. It wouldn't earn them accolades, perhaps. It wouldn't get them awards, but they were going to get the job done. They will wear, just like the patina on them, for the eons. But the one that's really striking, when you go over there, I want you to look at the mom and the little boy. They came to the rig, and she's carrying a lunch pail. She's bringing lunch to her husband. Her daddy, the little boy's daddy, is up there on that floor. And, of course, he's as innocent as he can be, and he's so proud. He's smiling at what's going on. He's pointing up there, there's my daddy. His innocence is intoxicating. But look at the mom. Think about the oil fields of 1910, living in tent houses. Think about keeping a house in 1910 in the oil fields. How'd you keep the clothes clean? And yet, I want you to look at that woman. Look at her figure. You look at her boots. Now, her boots, they tell you that they are necessary. They are rugged. They're practical. But you look at the woman. You look at the way she's dressed. And she's very elegant. and she has lace coming out of her cuffs, and she has a bow in her hair. And then you look at her face, and in her face you see a bit of a smile. It's a very subdued smile, but it comes from pride of doing something that, once again, won't earn her these huge accolades, but a pride deep down inside, knowing full well that she did something that needed to be done, was difficult to do, and she did it day in and day out every day. I want you to look at her smile. So, that monument, those faces, the reality and the attitude that Ben Victor put into those faces, that is who we are. That is what we do. Our pride is unwavering. Our commitment is unwavering. Please take a look at that. The oil business is a family business. You look at all the families that are a part of this, and commitment to and sacrifice, and it's a lot like politics. When these people go up and they go out to Washington, D.C., or they go up to Sacramento and they represent us, my God, those people spend incredible amounts of time doing that, time away from their families. And their families sacrifice for it. But they're a part of it, a critical component of it. You have got to have that support at home. That's another part of that monument. I have that support. I have my wife, Tammy. Do that. She deserves it. Heaven knows. My 2 children are here, my daughter, Ashley, and my son, DJ. As well as my grandsons. It takes family. It takes a support unit. It takes a commitment. That is the reality of who we are and what we are. We will not stop doing what we do, what we have done for 115 years, 21 presidents, 19 governors, 2 world wars, the Great Depression, the Great Recession, and the global pandemic. How ironic is it that during a global pandemic, the guy running the show in the state of California told everybody, stay at home. Don't leave your house. The boogeyman's waiting for you. You're going to die. Oh, by the way, that industry I declared war on, you oil workers, you guys are kind of critical. So brave all that and go to work, whatever you do. And we did it. We did it. So I'm so happy that you all came here today. I can't thank you enough, every one of you. I just want you to know how proud I am to be a part of Taft. Thank you all. Good night.
and county more than any other man I know. When I say he's dedicated, there is not a golf game, river trip, vacation that he's not on the phone, emailing, or talking about and fighting for this town and industry. With all that being said, he is best at being an amazing dad, Uncle Daw, and Papa Dave. Thank you for all you do, Dad. We love you.
With that, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn. All in favor? This meeting is adjourned, but guess what? Visit, enjoy each other, enjoy the rest of Oildorado. God bless you all.